Hello, how are you today? Today we are going to dive in Unit 16, and the topic of today is more conditions and the subjunctive. And let me present myself. My name is Teacher Diana, and let's start with the topic number one, conditions. So let's start with the basics and let's learn what is a conditional sentence. We use this type of sentences to express situations that are hypothetical, unlikely to happen, or contrary to reality. A conditional sentence typically consists of a subordinate clause that starts with if, and in some cases, a main clause that includes modal verbs like would, could, or might. Here we have two examples. The first one is if I were rich, I would buy a huge house. As you can see, uh, first we have the subordinate clause that, as I said, starts with if. And a subordinate clause wouldn't make sense if it didn't have the main clause. So as you can see too, the main clause has its modal verb would in this case. And the second sentence is I could drive you to your class if I had a car. It's the same, it just changed the order. In this case, the main clause is first, and in second is the subordinate clause. And the main clause has its modal verb could, and the subordinate clause starts with if. So now that we know what a conditional sentence is, let's look at two types of conditional sentences that Unit 16 wants us to learn about. So, implied conditions, sometimes the conditional clause is not explicitly stated using words like if, but the context makes it clear that there is a condition. We can imply a condition without using if by using words like but for, if not, if so, otherwise, with, without, and others. Here we have two examples. The first one is you should hurry up, otherwise you'll miss the train. Otherwise is replacing the word if in this case, but it implies the same, a condition. And the second one is we couldn't have finished the project on time without your help. The same, right? Without is replacing the word if, but it's always implying the condition. So next we have the inverted conditions. We apply inverted conditions when we want to use the unreal conditional with had, should, or were without necessarily using the word if. So we delete it and we invert the subject and the verb. Here we have two examples. First, we have the unreal conditional using if. If I were you, I'd go. But in the inverted condition form, it will go like where I do, I'd go. And if she had called, I'd know. And had she called, I'd know. So next, we are going to dive in topic number two, the subjunctive. And what is the subjunctive? The subjunctive is a verb form used to express hypothetical situations, wishes, suggestions, demands, or conditions contrary to reality. It is less common in English than in other languages. So, one type of subjunctive is the use of were in the present unreal conditional, which is the only way this verb is used in conditional sentences. So here we have the examples. The first one is if she were here, we could ask her opinion. And if I were you, I wouldn't worry about it. The second type of subjunctive is using the base form of a verb in a noun clause. This means that even though the verb in a noun clause might be in the past, future, or present, the subjunctive verb will still be in its base form. The verbs in the noun clause that take a subjunctive verb are usually those that express advice, necessity, or urgency, such as suggest, insist, request, order, recommend, demand, and so on. Here we have two examples. First, I suggest that she study harder, or I suggest she study harder. And the second one, they requested that he not leave early. We have a little reminder here, and it says verbs like insist on, propose, recommend, and suggest can be followed by a gerund instead of the subjunctive base form of the verb, and this construction serves a similar purpose. Here we have an example using the sentences from before. And using the gerund, it could be I suggest studying harder instead of I suggest she study harder. And they requested not leaving early instead of they requested that he not leave early. The second reminder is with verbs like ask, order, require, urge, etc. You can use the structure verb plus object plus infinitive. And here we have two examples. The teacher asked you to be present at the parents' meeting, and the doctor recommended me to be silent during the exam. The third type of subjunctive is that the subjunctive can also be used after adjectives of advice, necessity, and urgency, such as advisable, important, recommended, wise, crucial, necessary, essential, required, vital, urgent, critical, and so on. The structure used with subjunctive verbs after these types of adjectives is it plus be plus adjective plus the clause. In this case, the that is usually not omitted, but in more informal context, you can replace that with for plus noun plus infinitive. And here we have examples with the structure it plus be plus adjective plus that clause. The first one is it is advisable that she prepare thoughtfully for the exam. And the second one is it is crucial that they follow the instructions carefully. And second, we have examples with the structure it plus be plus adjective plus noun for plus noun plus infinitive with the same sentences from before. The first one is it is advisable for her to prepare thoughtfully for the exam. And the second one is it is crucial for them to follow the instructions carefully. So, guys, this was everything for today. Thank you very much for your attention and see you on the next lesson. Bye.